There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things. There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things. Because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting. We call it Imagineering.
Hi, everyone. I'm Josh. Today, I'm in one of my favorite places in the world, Walt Disney Imagineering. You know, there's so much history here, so much creativity, so much innovation. There's so much magic here. And as you can see, Walt Disney's legacy lives in the hearts and minds of all who work here. Hey there. What are you all working on? Okay. All right, we'll see you later. In this new series, we'll meet the people who dream, create, design, and build Disney experiences around the world. We call them Imagineers, and they represent more than 100 disciplines, everything from engineers, puppeteers, and painters, to architects, songwriters, and graphic designers. These are the folks who make the impossible possible. They make cars talk, they can make trees walk, and they can make elephants fly. And who knows, they might even inspire you to become an Imagineer someday. Walt challenged us to stay curious, to dream big, and to always be thinking about the future. And that's what's happening right here every day as we turbocharge our destinations around the globe. So we're inviting you inside, behind the curtain, so that you can see what our Imagineers are working on and to learn how these amazing people do what they do. So let's get started.
I'm Matthew, and today I'm going to be walking the halls of Walt Disney Imagineering, introducing you to the people that make magic happen. I've gotten the green light to show you a couple of things that no one else has gotten to see. We may be able to sneak into a few places, so stick with me. Let's go. So today we're going to show you something special and take you behind the scenes at what inspired all of audio animatronics that originated in New Orleans.
So welcome, we're up here in Walt's formal office. This was the creative heart of the company. All the great audio animatronics around the world, including Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room and Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, were all inspired by this little bird here. This bird cage was actually purchased in New Orleans by Walt and his wife Lillian, and this is what intrigued Walt to jump off of paper, traditional animation, into dimensional animation. Walt was always curious about how things work. Walt found out that there's a simple bellow in there that makes the bird chirp, and then there's a little gear mechanism in there that makes him turn around and makes his little beak move up and down. So that is something that Walt said, well, I know how they do it. Let's do it ourselves, but let's do it better. So this simple bird clock mechanism is what inspired all the great audio animatronics around the world because of this little bird.
We're here in the integration bay where we are assembling the audio animatronics that will be in Tiana's Bayou Adventure. You remember that bird that you saw in Walt's office? We've gone from that little bird to where we are today with some of the most exciting innovations in audio animatronics you're ever going to see. You know, when Walt Disney Imagineering first started, it was created for the express purpose of designing, planning, and building Disneyland. Walt started to think about, if you've got an attraction like we have in our parks, guests are going to go by every 30 seconds. Thousands of times a day. Human actors can't possibly do all of that work. So what if we had something that could stand in for them? Since that time, we have improved the technology. And the greatest examples are the figures created for Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Avi, Sarah, tell us what you do here at Imagineering.
When we start working on audio animatronics for any attraction, we start back at the story because the story is key. And we figure out what character thing to do, and each individual scene is built off of that point. The things that then start to become important are characterization, what the character is doing, why are they there, what is happening, and we start to take that and visualize it digitally in 3D animation, just like you'd see for a film, and figure out what things the character needs to do in order to communicate the story point at that point in time. And when you see the character in person, you believe that they are the character that you've seen on screen, and they could and can do anything that you've seen there to really make you feel fully immersed in that world and in their story.
And that comes from the animator working very closely with his or her collaborators, from the show mechanical engineering design to surface development to our figure finishing team, because to make it real is a lot of work beyond just the 3D animation.
What Walt Disney Imagineering does is right there in its name. Imagineering, which is a combination of imagination, the creative side, and engineering, the technical side. You bring storytelling and technology together, and that's what you get at Walt Disney Imagineering.
Rob, Heather, how did the two of you work together to make this masterpiece?
Well, we battle.
I was gonna say dance.
It's a collaborative dance, yes. There's a lot of back and forth. I will get to create a performance and it looks great to me, and Heather comes along and puts the costume on it after the fact, and then I can no longer do exactly as I've been doing. If I'm trying to create a bit of movement in the wrist, maybe, it might obstruct the costume might obstruct the animation. I might change the animation, Heather might change the costume. It's both things working in balance.
Particularly on more difficult areas like an elbow or a wrist. There's a small motor, there's a lot of animation, that's where a lot of the life comes from, but the costumes can be restrictive. So we have to work back and forth with each other to make sure that we can clear all those things and bring the character the life it needs and still maintain a good costume.
Her wrist will actually involve, I think, 3 motors. A twist going this way, and buried up here, we've got 2 motors that will give us the back and forth this way and this way.
I'll come back in and go, yeah, that's great animation, but then you can't quite make this happen because she's got her shell, she's got her costume, it's gonna bind. So then we work together and maybe he backs off a little bit, I give a little bit, we end up with a beautiful dance.
Walt Disney still inspires us to this day. His sense of curiosity, his sense of wanting to find out new things. We're always looking for that new angle, that new technology, that new way of telling a story that's going to engage our guests. And by doing that, we're just opening up new doors, creating new avenues for us to entertain people, to follow in his footsteps.
The Walt Disney Company always talks about making dreams come true. And when I stand here and I see the work that you have done to bring this character to life, she is gracious, everything done with intention and precision. It touches my heart.
You giving us that wonderful foundation to work from just makes it so much easier for us to give it that, authenticity. We've got expert teams of teams that all come together to make this happen. At least 30 people, probably more, that would touch this in one way or another. I'm just one of one team that made this come to life. You put a part of yourself into it in the best possible way to create, again, like that, the authenticity. It has to come from somewhere real, doesn't it?
I'm Sonny. I work in service development. Right now, I'm working on Lewis.
How do you go about creating something as large as Lewis?
He is one of the largest and most dynamic figures we've built to date. There's a lot of moving parts. We've got this area that moves, this area that moves. So you have all of these layers. If you got fabric, and they all have to be like in sync. So this falls down into here, this falls down into here, this comes up together there. That all covers the motors, but as he's bouncing up and down, they're all moving in sync. But it also keeps the support of the costume and lets the costume ride over that, because all of these are animated. It's all part of this functionality. In the past, we've had hydraulic, pneumatic, but he is a fully electric figure. So the tolerances and the movement that we're getting from these electric motors is spot on. So we're using a lot of new materials to create and bring these characters to life using what new technologies we have. I mean, we're able to do that life like that.
That's the Disney difference. I love that. So, Pascal, I would love to know a bit more about how you kind of get Lewis to work.
I'm a figure programmer, and the figure programmer is the Imagineer who trains the figure. We make sure that the figure is mechanically ready. All the cables are properly placed. Every shell
cannot collide. And once that's ready, I can make sure that the figure actually can properly move. So the figure can get all the range to make sure that everything that we are designing every step of the way is true to the creative vision. One of the important ones is also like the head turn. So we will come here during our checkout and we will make sure that actually Luis can move. Let me show you this. Hey, Luis, I just want to check that your neck is all right. So we will have Luis playing a part of his show, but only with those actuators. So we can test that everything is working nice with him and he can actually perform his show. So when we put the costume on, we will repeat the process again. This Luis actually is going to be the first Luis that our guests will see when they go down the bayou. Let me show you a little bit. It's not completed yet, but he is going to start greeting our guests and telling us, hey, I'm hearing all this music here. And that's why he's such a complicated figure, right? We're moving all this massive body with just keeping up with the music of New Orleans.
So Jess, can you tell me about how you actuate very detailed type of movement?
We really try to think of what Lewis is as a character. He's a very jolly character. We want to make him appear as happy as possible. And a big part of that is having his belly joyfully move up and down. And we're trying to incorporate that as much as possible from our digital profile, seeing how it's going to translate onto the figure. This is Lewis's animation. Right now, we're watching his up, down, and his heave, which you are going to see on the lower body. And then slowly we'll integrate his upper torso. We can turn certain curves on and off, which is great to see how he's reacting in different forms of space. And then we can get all of the animation all at once. So it can get a little elaborate. We can also isolate certain controllers, and it makes it a lot more simple. Each one controls an actuator or a motor. Ones have very specific functions. Some will be larger, some will be passive, and they all work together. And it's making sure that they work together well. Right now, we have him at about 75% speed just to see how everything's interacting with itself. What we're doing here is adjusting the character to tell the story. And for the first time, we get to debut one of those very important characters, our beaver, Bahalia. She gets to play along with Ralphie. They're keeping in time to Lewis's conducting. And it's really bringing the party together. The guests are just going to love it.
What really makes the place work are the people who create all of the things that we love to this day. The magic that's emanating from them, that passion that you poured into that project weeks, months, years, and you see the looks on the people who are enjoying what you've just created. The gleam in their eye, the laughter. That's what makes it all worthwhile. You're now seeing it in the faces of people that are experiencing it. And that's what Imagineering is all about.
Pretty cool stuff, right? I'm Bruce and I lead Walt Disney Imagineering. I'm excited to be part of your firsthand look at how we create a sense of wonder at our parks, attractions, and cruise ships. As Imagineers, we know our end product isn't gears or circuits or even revolutionary robotic figures that engage with guests in brand new ways. It's actually emotion in its truest form. It's the joyful moments you experience when you visit us, along with the treasured memories you'll share with loved ones for a lifetime. That's why we do what we do. And we're so excited to be sharing this with you, some of our biggest fans. We have a ton in store and even more surprises being created by brilliant teams here at Imagineering. Thank you for joining us and stay tuned for even more stories to share with you soon.
All right, guys, good evening to all of you. Good evening to all of you. Let me cancel the video. All right, so let's start class. I hope you enjoyed that. So that was amazing. That was amazing, right? I learned quite a bit by watching that video. It's quite fascinating, guys. I'm so happy that we've got a great case study. By the way, this is the second time we have Disneyland as a case study. It was tested about 10 years ago, right? So this is the second time we have the Disneyland case study. So it was tested before 10 years ago, right? So let's get started. Today is the kickoff session. I'm sure many of you are very eager. You have done the SWOT analysis. You're wondering what to do next. Sunday evening, I thought is a good time. In fact, I just landed in the morning today. So we have to now focus and ensure that we meet our goals. So can you take down a few things? This Friday, you will have the assignment. This Friday, you will get the questions. The GMD assignment will be out this Friday. This is the last time it's going to be an assignment. So if you have any loved ones, friends, cousins, colleagues at work, anyone, boyfriends, girlfriends, neighbors, who wants to do the case study this time, who has an MBA or a degree, ask them to contact us because we will help them pass. As you know, pass rates are very high for assignments, is about 93%. But pass rates drop when case study is an exam because it's an online exam. You have to study everything, every single definition, every single theory you need to study, right? So there's a little bit of pressure there because I know many of you post-COVID don't like to study and memorize things. Okay, we're different new normal world now. So you obviously like to face assignments, but it will be moving into an exam from next session. All right. Okay, so I ran through some of these areas of predicting questions with you last time. There's a lot of case material. Usually, if you have a lot of case material on specific areas, there's a lot of case material on brand management, as you can see. There's some areas on international marketing. There's also areas like culture and consumer behavior, which are hot areas. Then obviously you might have a question on strategic options. We don't know until we see the paper. I have not seen the paper. Interestingly, task 1 and task 2 is on the case study. Task 3 is a chosen organization, right? So you can select any organization. We will look at the questions. We will see what questions are there in task 3 before we select a company, okay? So don't panic, take it step at a time. Just do what I'm asking you to do on a weekly basis. I think you should get an A with that. And of course, a prize winner as well. I ran through some prize winner tips with you last class. The last class we did, I ran through these prize winner tips. I'm not going to go through them again. By now, I have asked you to watch all the videos twice. All the theory videos on the portal. Please start from the beginning. Take some notes and watch them twice. Because theory is very, very important. I have a feeling this time there are no numbers. As you can see, you don't have an appendix in your case study. Usually you get about 5 to 7 appendices in your case study with numbers. This time there's nothing. This time there's no numbers. Now, what does that mean? When there's numbers, marketing students get scared, but it's very easy, right? But when there's no numbers, the examiner expects a lot of theoretical discussion. So you have to be very, very strong in theory, guys. Please go through all the theory videos because when we start discussing the theoretical areas after the questions come, you will struggle if you don't know what I'm talking about, right? If I use certain terminology and words, you might wonder what these are. So please watch all the videos at least twice if you want to score A grade. You have until Friday. Today is Sunday. You have until Friday. So don't complain. Don't find excuses. If you don't do it, it's up to you. You are the one who will need to sit the exam next semester. Okay. So please make sure you watch all the videos, find the time. I am sure you can watch it like a Netflix series, right? You have until Friday, until the assignment comes out. So please make sure you watch all the videos twice. Okay, this is a place close to my heart. I love Disneyland. I love Disneyland because my wife likes it and my kids love it. I love Disneyland. I've been to many Disneylands. I've been to the one in Paris. I've been to the one in Anaheim. That's the first one. Twice. I've been to the big one in Orlando 3 times. I've been to the one in Tokyo, as well as the adjacent SeaWorld. Okay, so there's 2 theme parks there, Disneyland Tokyo and SeaWorld. I've not been to Hong Kong, Shanghai, which I want to go very soon, right? And it's amazing. It's one of the most magical, amazing places on this planet. And one day you must visit Disneyland if you have not gone there. So don't worry about it. You can't go there before the case study, right? Please watch all the videos I'm sending. I sent the Disneyland parade to you, the main parade. Inside Disneyland, there's so much of videos on YouTube. Please watch them so that you internalize and understand the brand. Walt Disney is a legend. He's a legend. He's a visionary. And he's changed and influenced the industry, the entertainment industry globally in so many different ways. It's mind-blowing, guys. It's mind-blowing, right? I mean, I was in December last year. I told you we spent quite a bit of time in Disneyland, and that's in Orlando. And I think I spent about a week there in Orlando in a Disney hotel as well, in a Disney themed hotel. And it's actually in the main Disney world in Orlando, right? Today's class is not about theory, okay? I just want to share some thoughts with you on this company. It's actually fascinating. It just fascinates me. The infrastructure they have got going. I will show you some videos and some bit of pictures later to show you how big the project is. It's massive. Do you know that in Orlando, people there pay lower taxes than all other states in United States, right? In that particular area, people pay lower taxes. So in the states, from state to state, the tax is different. Okay. So some people, when they retire, they want to pay lower taxes. They go to Florida, they go here and there based on the tax rate. Because you obviously, after you retire and all, you don't want to pay too much of taxes. Right. So they move around. Okay. And one of the places that has the lowest taxes is in Florida. Why in Orlando, right? In Orlando. Why? Because you know that state, the mayor or whoever it is who manages that state, is the biggest employer, of people there. So they are employing a huge number of people, right, in Walt Disney World. And there are many theme parks, 6, 7 theme parks inside in that place. And it's so huge. There are golf courses, there are many hotels. That entire county, that entire area survives because of Disneyland and the employment that they create. You know that Disneyland has in their main place alone, they have 30,000 hotel rooms. 30,000, guys. This is only it's only in Disneyland. 30,000 hotel rooms. Can you imagine the amount of hotels? Right? Mind-blowing, right? 30,000 hotel rooms. In Sri Lanka, we have only 15,000 hotel rooms. Entire Sri Lanka, where tourists can stay, statistically registered with the department, only 15,000 hotel rooms in Sri Lanka. Here, inside Disneyland, in one place, in one company, there's 30,000 hotel rooms. Can you believe how big that is? That is double the size of Sri Lanka in one place, only inside Disneyland. That's how big it is. That's how big it is. So I want you to know the scale of what you're talking about, right? And it's a company diversified. It's into entertainment, sports, experiences. You can see its mission statement to entertain, inform, inspire people. And this word is very, very important. This is the ethos of the brand. This is central to the brand, right? It's a company that without this word, it means nothing. It's a great storyteller. And everything around this brand is a story, right? And it's one of the iconic brands, innovative. We can see that. I'm going to look at that a little later. And it's a premier entertainment. It's world's biggest entertainment company. Now, consulting such a large company, imagine how imaginative you need to be. Now, that is the challenge. Because this is a great company. Of course, they have made some blunders. They have learned from their mistakes. They have millions of customers. Their revenue is huge. Their assets are huge. But they have new formed competition that they are dealing with, as well as this organization is big. And when you're big, sometimes you can fall faster. So that is where your consultancy insights matter. But today, I want to, before I critically evaluate, let's do that after the assignment comes and when we see the questions, okay? Let's be critical. But today, let's try and understand this company, okay? Mickey Mouse, who's probably the most identified character on the planet, right? He's probably the icon that anyone, anywhere in this world, in any age category will identify. He's 94 years old, and it's amazing how this face has remained for 94 years without dying. And that's the strength of this brand. That's the strength of this brand. It's the seventh largest brand in the world in terms of brand equity, right? And he's 94 years old, unchanged. It's amazing, right? In terms of business lines, Disney has three primary business lines. I shared this with you. It has DPEP, Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products. Now, this is where, guys, your case study will focus on. It also has Disney Media, Entertainment, and Distribution business, streaming. You will not focus on this area. It also has content groups, studios, sports content channels, entertainment. You will not focus on this area. So please make note of that. Your questions and your case study will only be within this strategic business unit. It is clearly mentioned in the case study. Okay. So this is in short form called DPEP. This is all over case study. This is all over the case study. So we are only going to focus on Disney Parks, Experiences, and Consumer Products. So you have all these brands under that. You have a cruise line, right? Actually, I want to try and one day go on this cruise line and stay on their, they have a private island, okay? Imagine how kids would love it, right? Private island. I didn't know that they have a cruise line. I didn't know, right? But these are the different parks that they have, the different things that they do, the Disney stores, Disney consumer merchandise, publishing, Walt Disney Games, online shops, Shanghai, Disneyland Paris. Then you have Hong Kong, you have Anaheim. So these are the various projects they have under DPEP. And you need to know all these inside out. There is a lot of case material on this. If you do have any questions, please type them in. But today is a more of an exploratory area on the case study. Now, it's very interesting, guys. If you look at their product portfolio under DPEP, right? This is DPEP. What is DPEP? Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products. Products means consumer products. It's one of the world's leading provider of family travel, leisure experiences. So we are only going to focus on one business area. And we are then going to understand deeply about this area, which includes family travel, leisure, with 6 resort destinations. So you have 6 resorts. In one resort, right? For example, in the one resort, right? The one in Orlando, one resort, you have about 6 theme parks. many golf courses, 30,000 hotel rooms, right? So can you imagine how many hotels you need to have 30,000 hotel rooms? I don't even know what it is. Many, right? So this is in one resort in Orlando. You have 6 theme parks. This time I stayed there for 3 weeks. I only managed to cover 3. I only managed to cover 3. There's another 3 more. I didn't even get time to go inside after staying there for 1 week. That's how big it is. It's massive, right? So again, maybe I would have stayed in one hotel out of, I don't know how many hotels here, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is this is only one resort, but there are 6 resort destinations globally, 12 theme parks, 55 resort hotels, a top-rated cruise line, and vacation experiences. And through their staff, their cast members, Disney call their staff cast members. Disney calls their staff, why? Why do they call their staff cast members? Because they believe they are in the show business. They're in the show business. There's a nice thing about the Disney case study. It says that the Disney case study says that every single person who joins the company, Disneyland, right? You will be first trained in the theme park wearing characters. So it doesn't matter how senior you are, you will first go and work in the theme park and you'll be inside a costume. Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Goofy, I don't know what. You'll be inside a costume. That's the training they go through. Because if you don't like that, then you're not in the show business. See how they internalize the brand. If you don't like being inside costumes and serving guests, maintaining popcorn lines, maintaining lines for the rides, if you don't like doing that in costumes, then you're not in the show business. Disneyland is not for you. Disneyland is not for you. Can you believe that? It's amazing, right? So that's the training they give their staff. The magic of Disney comes to life for families, fans everywhere around the world. So the Disneyland Resort, right? This one is from Anaheim, which was opened in 1955, right? This one is from Anaheim, the first one. Then they have Walt Disney World, which is in Orlando, the biggest one. So this is the first one, first theme park. I don't know that it was the first theme park in the world. I don't know, but it is 1955. This is in Anaheim. It's an old one. Fairly small compared to Walt Disney World. This opened in 1971, right? Is massive, is huge, is the biggest entertainment project in the world, right? Then they have Disney Cruises, 1998. Disney Adventures. Now here they have a lot of partners here, strategic partnerships. Disney Adventures, they have National Geographic. And I'll take you through some. They have partnered National Geographic and so many other partners for amazing once-in-a-lifetime bucket list kind of guided tours and vacations. They are not just normal vacations, guys. Go and see the Eiffel Tower kind of thing. No. They are things that you go and stand on glaciers. You go and see rare things in the world, right? They're very, very interesting experiences. They call them premier experiences. And they have partnered so many people like National Geographic, right, for this. So they charge quite a bit. And then they have Aulani, a Disney resort and spa, right? So this is called the Family Paradise, opened in 2011. You can Google and have a look at this. It's probably also having the theme of Disney, but not necessarily Mickey Mouse and all that. It's more for adults. So can you see what they're trying to do here? They believe in cradle to the grave. They are saying, when you were small, you enjoyed Disneyland. Can you see what they're doing? When you were small, you liked all the characters, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse. But the bigger you get, Don't leave our brand. Don't leave our brand. There's adventures for you. You can still rekindle the nostalgia by going to the Disneyland, right? And remembering what your childhood trips there. You can then go on to resorts and spas and still enjoy the Disney experience without all the characters. So can you see what they're doing? They are extending the customer lifetime value. They are getting more from you. They are saying cradle to the grave. And there is another project here that is not here. I will show you a little later. They have created a city. Can you believe this? They have created a city, a town. Okay. And now they have modeled that one town and created many towns like that, especially in the States. They have created a town it's a high-end town, right? Like a gated community for retired people to enjoy the Disney experience. I will show you that video. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. So that means even older, 75, 85, 95, if you have money, go and enjoy the Disney experience in a planned city. Right? And I have been to a few planned cities like that in some countries. I can tell you it's paradise. They have their own supermarkets, they have their own private beaches, they have their own spas and pools. And if you're old and you're rich and you don't want to go here and there, you just want to be in one enclosed private paradise, right? Restaurants and all that, shopping, high-end shopping, everything there. This is a company that creates it for you. So can you see what they're doing? That they are touching the lives from the cradle to the grave. And that is in their mission of how they extend this brand. It's a mind-blowing company, guys, right? The more you study about this company, how big they are and what they're doing, you think as to why we can't do even the small things, right? Here's a company doing these kind of mind-blowing things. And we as a country, why can't we do at least few of these things, right? It's amazing. I will share this with you. So let's start with the 6 Disneyland resorts. So like I told you, the first one, which is in Anaheim, right? This is their first resort. Okay. This is in Anaheim, and it is the oldest Disneyland. There's some level of standardization within Disneyland. Standardization means the look and feel of it is the same, right? You have the characters, you have the various other buildings and rides and so on and so forth, right? The case study also uses this term. It calls it artifacts. Artifacts. I hope you came across that term. It uses it quite a bit. The artifacts of the brand. That means the buildings, the characters, the clothing, the costume. Then you have a nice parade area. You have the castle, as you can see here. Those are all the visible artifacts of the brand, and fairly standardized. Fairly standardized. If you go to any Tokyo, Paris, Anaheim, Shanghai, whatever, language might be different, but you see the same aesthetics, you see the same artifacts. The brand continues fairly standardized. But the case study also talks about the importance of glocalization. I hope you saw that term. Glocalization means some level of globalization and some level of localization. That is glocalization, right? We will go into theory a little later. So localization means whilst there is some level of standardization, you need to understand the cultural nuances from market to market and adapt your product because there are cultural nuances. We saw the case study talking about how successful it went, how successfully it took the brand from the US market to the Japanese market. Because they're probably, although the language is different, Japan succeeded as the first international Walt Disney market. Japan succeeded for multiple reasons. The biggest reason was their disposable income was very similar to US, right? Or even higher, right? But they failed in Euro Disney. Euro Disney pickup was a big problem. Why? They went into Europe and they said, we will create one Disneyland 20 kilometers away from Paris and call it Euro Disneyland and make it the Disneyland of entire Europe, because Europe is a common market. But they didn't realize that Europeans from market to market are different. They are different countries. They're not all the same. And the French culture is very different to the US culture. So they failed in the first few years. They failed in Euro Disney, and they had to rebrand Euro Disney to Disneyland Paris. So they made it focused more on the French culture, right? And adapted some of the nuances of the French culture. So you can see they have the case study talks about some weaknesses, some strengths, a lot of opportunities, as well as threats. And the Walt Disney World Resort is the biggest one. This is the biggest one. 1971. Can you see here how many the features of it? Right? 6 theme and water parks. 6 theme parks, guys. You know, one of these theme parks are so huge. So huge. Imagine having 6. Imagine having 6. So they have their own railway line, because you have to park somewhere far away. Let's say to come to the theme park. Let's say if I say to come to the theme park in Fort, you have to park somewhere in maybe in Vellavatta, or you have to park really, really far, Dehivala. And after you park in Dehivala, you have to then come in a train, in a monorail to one of the Disney land, right? So it takes a long time. Logistically, there are buses running, people from places to, because you're having millions of visitors, especially on holidays. You're talking on summer holidays, you're having a huge problem, right? Logistical problem. So we're talking millions of visitors, not just hundreds. Okay. So logistically, they have their own parking far away, and then they drive their people up and down using buses, right? Free of charge, Mickey Mouse buses, free of charge. And they drive they also ride their people on trains, right? Their own train system. That's how big this place is. It has, I told you, 29,000 hotel rooms, 29,000 hotel rooms, sports complex, golf courses, and Disney Springs. We will go into what Disney Springs is a little later, right? Then you have Tokyo Disneyland Resort. I have been there. I really like it. I think, to me, that is my favorite Disneyland. Tokyo is my favorite Disneyland. Some people ask me why. I don't know why. Maybe it's less crowded and it's a lot more easy to do all the rides, right? And it's 12 kilometers from central Tokyo. Because when on a crowded day inside the theme park, even to get a Coke, you have to stand in queue. Even to fill your popcorn, you have to stand in queue. So there's such a lot of people there. Okay, so this is one of my favorite places. Paris, okay, but not as big as the ones in US. So you can see it is Europe's, the idea here is to target the entire European region to come here. Then, of course, Shanghai is a big market. The other big market that they have not entered into is India. Okay, India. But Shanghai, as you know, the disposable income levels are very, very high, very good business. And Hong Kong, now also part of China, is another interesting market. Okay, so you can see these are the main areas of international business under DPEP. Now, I told you I'm going to show you the size of the Walt Disney, the biggest one, right? So this is the area. Now, can you see Walt Disney World Resort has how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 massive theme parks, shopping areas, and other entertainment areas. This time when I went in December, I spent 1 week, okay, inside this. I managed to go to Epcot, Magic Kingdom Park, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and yeah, I think this is right. Sorry, this is repeated. Okay, this is repeated. Sorry, right? So and Disney Springs. There are few that I couldn't go to, right? Few that I couldn't go to. ESPN World of Sports, Broadwalk. So I have to do another trip to go into this. Even these I went to, I only spent half a day, I couldn't spend full day, right? Because the kids, when one of them fall asleep, it's very difficult. So you need to, you're really tired. It's so huge. Especially this is Magic Kingdom is huge, right? So can you see the sheer scale of these guys? Can you see the sheer scale of this? Okay. This is all this land is, so you have to, you have to, Epcot is here, Hollywood Studios is here. These are different theme parks by themselves. So this entire area is owned by Disney, Walt Disney. There's no houses here. You're talking about a massive area, no houses, right? So only Disneyland infrastructure here, but there are, you can pass these roads and go to other states, right? There are roads here, but no houses here. There might be 1 or 2 houses of people who have not left their old property. In fact, there are 1 or 2 houses there who have, because Disneyland bought all this property. Some people refuse to sell. Some people refuse to sell. So there might be 1 or 2 houses, but they are very isolated houses. This entire area is the Disneyland city. It's a massive city. Imagine 29,000 hotel rooms, I told you. Right? This is a resort. This whole thing is a resort, and it has, right, 6 theme and water parks, massive ones. 29,000 hotel rooms, sport complex, golf courses, and Disney Springs, shopping area, right? So we are talking about a company which has a large asset base. Look at how large they are. Okay, so you need to keep this in mind when you're making recommendations. They are a huge company. They are not like Satutuyana, okay, small setup. Please don't think small. You have to think very, very big. They're like in another planet. Okay, it's huge. So they are looking at you as a marketing consultant to talk about the future. So what have you to share about the future? That is the next 2 areas that I sent you. I sent you 3 documents today. 2 other documents talks about the future of theme parks. Did you get them? Very interesting reads. Is talking about the future, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years from now. Where will theme parks go? And that is the expectation of the examiner for you as a consultant to envision the future, right, of this industry. So experiences, the cruise line, the vacation club, right? You have to be a member of this. There are premium vacations. Then they have the resort and spa. And I told you they have adventures guided tours by Disney as well. Okay. National Geographic expeditions. And this one I spoke to you about storytelling. I told you they're creating communities. Storytelling by Disney is a vibrant new home communities infused with the company's special brand of magic. Imagine that. Gated communities. Each community uniquely designed with creative guidance from Walt Disney Imagineers, right? Imagineers. Those are the creative engineers who take inspiration from surrounding areas' history, community landscape to create a one-of-a-kind experience. I'm going to show you a small video on storytelling by Disney, how they have now gone into gated communities, right? Let's take a small break here and watch some videos. Watch this. Let's watch this.
Disney has shared stories that have touched the hearts and minds of people around the world for nearly 100 years. At Disney parks, experiences, and products, our job is to turn dreams and stories into reality, into something that you can touch, taste, and smell, something you can feel and experience and share with those you love. Disney experiences are magical because they start with great storytelling. They include a quality that is unmatched anywhere in our industry. And of course, they're brought to life by our world-class Disney cast members. And every time we reach a new horizon, we start to dream a little bigger. We look for new ways to tell our stories and to connect with more people. It's all part of our boundless exploration to provide experiences for guests beyond the theme parks, no matter where they are. As Imagineers, story is at the heart of everything we do, and we love bringing authentic places to life to immerse you in those stories.
Our consumers trust that experiences that Disney creates will be enriching, adventurous, and fun for all involved. And they all know that it will have that special Disney touch, attention to detail, and innovation.
And while we're known most for our theme park experiences, we've built an incredible legacy of going beyond the parks, finding new ways to make magic for Disney fans in beautiful locations, both on land and at sea. I'm proud to announce our next Disney experience, Story Living by Disney. All new Disney branded master plan residential communities designed to be the perfect setting for Disney fans to write the next exciting chapter in their lives. And some neighborhoods will be planned for residents ages 55 and over. Story Living by Disney allows us to leverage what we do best: world-class service, legendary storytelling, and creativity. This exciting new venture will enhance, extend, and strengthen the Disney brand by allowing us to bring the magic of Disney to places you may never have expected.
These vibrant communities will be infused with Disney placemaking. Picture an energetic community with the warmth and charm of a small town and the beauty of a resort. A place that entices inspiration and makes every moment more memorable than the last. A Story Living by Disney community is something truly special.
We're exploring a variety of locations in the U.S. for our Story Living by Disney communities. And while each site will have core Disney DNA, each will also have a very distinct personality, drawing inspiration from the local landscape, from the history, and the culture. I'm standing here in the community of Rancho Mirage, just outside of Palm Springs, California. And I'm excited to announce that our first Story Living by Disney community will be located right here, not far from the area where our founder, Walt Disney, once lived. The first community will be called Cotino. And in addition to residential homes, this development is also expected to host a hotel, a range of shopping, dining, entertainment, and leisure activities, as well as a grand oasis featuring clear turquoise waters with crystal lagoons technology. Voluntary club membership will offer access to our waterfront clubhouse, a club-only beach area with recreational water activities, as well as Disney programming, entertainment, and activities throughout the year. While our Disney Imagineers are contributing to the creative concept for this community and future communities, we're not in this alone. We'll be working with highly respected real estate developers and experienced home builders at each site who contribute their talents and expertise to each community. Now let's take a look at Cotino with the help of one of our creative minds behind the project.
There is an incredible natural beauty in the Coachella Valley landscape, and you can see why Walt Disney used to escape to the desert to dream the impossible. I want to give you a look at our first community in Rancho Mirage. Our clubhouse takes inspiration from a modern-day art studio, each space celebrating different expressions of art and design. Here's a peek inside of what our lobby space could look like, inspired by Studio Gallery. So you can imagine people gathering for a monthly art show, perhaps with pieces from Disney artists or from local residents. Best of all, the space perfectly frames pristine lagoon waters at the heart of our community. Across the lagoon is the town center. Picture open markets with vibrant businesses that bring an array of culinary, musical, and artisanal experiences to life. On the shores of the lagoon, a professionally managed park is planned to provide beach access and recreational water activities. With the purchase of a day pass, the public can relax and rejuvenate in this beautiful oasis.
We can't wait to welcome you to Cotino, our first Story Living by Disney community. And believe me, we'll have lots more to share with you in the coming weeks, in the coming months, and even the years ahead.
That was amazing, right? That was amazing. Okay. So you can see the dream of this company, how big they're dreaming. Okay. Disney Cruises, I spoke to you about it. Imagine having 7 days on a ship with all the entertainment from all the Disney characters. That's going to be paradise for kids, right? And this is actually the Disney Castaway Island. So it's one of the places in the Caribbean that they stop. So it's their own island. So you can see, I'm sure this is only one picture. I'm sure it's paradise again for any children. So you step out from your cruise and go into a Disney private island. Okay. This is what I spoke to you about. You saw the video here. Storytelling by Disney, the Cotino community. Now they are going into touching older people who have still, in their younger days, still gone to Disneyland, had Mickey Mouse, teddy bears or whatever it is. So they still have a brand attachment, but how this company is still trying to be relevant to them through bigger projects. Okay. It's amazing how this company has looked at new revenue opportunities, diversify, develop new products. So these are all product development strategies. And then we go into DPEP, the final one, the final P, Disney Consumer Products. So consumer products, obviously any visit to any theme park won't be complete without you bringing something back. And there's a lot of things you can buy, from apparel to a lot of school related things like bags and so many things, right? It has products that it sells. It also has a franchise business. So there are lots of people across the world who license and franchise the Disney characters, and they pay them. So from t-shirts, books, games, there are so many things that you can buy under the final P, right? Disney Consumer Products. And that is tangible. That's what they take back. Your memories are intangible that you have within the park, but the tangible things that you take back are in the forms of the products that you buy, right? So the retail business is very big. As you can see, there are so many shops, and you bust a lot of money because kids go crazy inside Disneyland and you end up busting a lot of money, right? I remember buying some stuff that my son only used once, but when they like it, they want it. And then you carry it all the way and come back, but they only used it once. There are many things like that. So you need to be very careful. But that's a kid's paradise. That's a kid's paradise. And there are not only apparel, there are things like sabers. You know what sabers are in Star Wars? They're those things that they fight, those light thing that they fight, they're called sabers. So there are a lot of things like that. And it's fairly expensive. Even the apparel, Disney franchise branded apparel, they're not cheap. Okay, they're very, very expensive because they are licensed. They're not, the fake ones. They're real ones. So because of that, it's very, very expensive. So the retail business is big. Then Disney Games, they have now gone into, through Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilm, they acquired Pixar and Lucasfilm and Century Studios. So they have a lot of gaming. Of course, they are not as big as Sony. Sony is big. Then you have Nintendo and you have Microsoft that are big in the gaming industry. But Disney is somewhere there. So it is not as big, but there's some relevance. Disney Publishing, okay, 68 countries, 45 languages, world's largest publisher of children's books and magazines. World's largest publisher, right? Then they also have another licenses business where you can license characters. In Sri Lanka, of course, you might not really find a lot of formal license because it's very expensive. You have to pay upfront, and then for each product that you put their brand on, right, you have to pay a royalty. So in other big markets where disposable incomes are high, it's very easy for you to get a license. You just visit disneylicensing.com, and it's a place where you can buy licenses. If you want to reproduce them in t-shirts, in school bags, in bottles, and there are many who do it in developed markets. But of course, there are some others who buy the license and they develop fake products, right? So whilst that is not allowed, it happens quite a bit. I don't need to tell you that. And then there are so many new opportunities for licensing as well, and for publishers as well. In the games industry, they have also collaborated with Epic Games. I think you know Epic Games. They're the owners of Fortnite, right? Fortnite is a very big game that most play. So they also have now ventured into this streaming business because there's a lot of money in it, right? Gaming industry is huge. As you know, we had a Nintendo case study in the past. Stakeholder engagement, this is from their annual report. There are key stakeholders we sometimes can have a question. Consumers, employees is one of their biggest after customers, right? The government, because they have to mobilize and work with the government, especially in the US. And in fact, in countries like even Hong Kong and China, their strategic partner is the government. In Hong Kong and China, the company strategic partner is the government. The government owns 50% and Disneyland owns the other 50% because you can't enter into Chinese market without the government involvement. So government is a very important player. Employees, they are cast members. They are the ones who create the magic, according to the founder. Without them, there's no magic. Industry partners, strategic alliances, NGOs, lobby groups, pressure groups. You have many of them, right? You have this company can also be employing so many people, but it can also be emitting a lot of waste to the environment. So then you need to ensure that there's a sustainability agenda, corporate governance agenda. We will discuss all that. And shareholders. This is also, their shares are listed. Their shares are listed listed, it's a public quoted company, and it raises a lot of money. And I'll show you later on, they have had some trouble, especially during the COVID period. They changed their CEO. New CEO came in and their share price tumbled. And now that old CEO is back again. Okay. So in terms of the brand identity, I think there might be a question on branding this time. We don't know. If so, we will take up this and discuss theory. There's some interesting attributes of the vision of the values to the audience. If we do have a question, but today I want to take you through the product. So maybe I need another half an hour, right? So inside Disneyland, they use a fair degree of technology, one of which is the app. I hope all of you downloaded the app. Please play around with the app. Can I see how many of you downloaded the app? Can you say yes if you download the app? Only yes. Can you say yes if you downloaded the app? Right? Can you say yes if you downloaded it? Isn't it a good app? It's a good app. You have to book your rides. In Disneyland, you can't just go and stand in queue and ride. There are some that you can like that. But in Disneyland, even if you get the VIP pass, you have to book, you have to pre-book. You have to pre-book, and then you can go into the faster lanes. So you can't just go and stand and ride because there's millions of visitors. So you have to pre-book. Even if you are inside the park, even if you get the VIP pass, still you have to pre-book. So the app is where you order your food, make restaurants. Sometimes in there, to get into a restaurant and eat something is so tough because you have hundreds of restaurants all over the park and you just can't get in anywhere because everything is full and it's full for hours and hours and hours. So the only way is you have to pre-book. So technology is very, very important. They use the mobile app. Then the Magic Band is another important thing, guys, that they use. If you are in that part of the world, you probably in the West, okay, you probably go to Disneyland quite often. And if you are going to Disneyland quite often, you end up buying a Magic Band. It's like a small watch where you wear on your wrist and you tap and go. Right? It's a wearable. You can see park experiences and so many things. Changes is cool. It changes lights. Unlock dimensions, storytelling, so many things that you can do. But most important feature of that is you can, you don't need to carry paper tickets and lose them and all that. You just tap and go, right? You can even pay. You can even put dollars in there through your app from a credit card. And if you are going to pay for something, if your whole day you're there, maybe you're in a water park, then you can't carry your dollars and your credit cards, all that, but you have the app around, you can touch and order your drinks, order anything. Everything can be ordered on that, but you have to preload money into that. Magic Key is a portal where you'll find relevant news, custom content, right, is another important feature. Sometimes people come to Disneyland to get married. Do you know that? They come to Disneyland to propose. Okay. Some people take their children also to Disneyland, and they get, as soon as you go, they get them dressed up like a fairy. So you can go, there are dressmakers there, and their favorite character, let's say the Frozen character, whatever she's called, I don't know what she's called, right? Or Moana, or whatever you like, right? You can go and dress your kid with that. And there is a tailor who will sew it according to the specifications and dress you. But all that is done by appointment. So you find these kids walking around entire full day in an outfit they like. Okay. That's sort of what they do. They bring that brand alive, not only using technology, but the other case study talks about, right? Genie is a important, the photos that you take in each of these areas, right? You can buy it at the end. Right? So these are the other features of the product. Again, this is an example if you have not seen, right? A Disneyland. I just want to show you, this is your entrance. This is your entrance, right? So you park your trolleys, all that here, right? Your washrooms are here. You then come through and then usually the shops are here. You have the shops here, and this is the main roundabout. And this is Fantasyland, as you can see. This is just one theme park, okay? One theme park. Okay, this is the main one in Anaheim. This is the oldest one, which is the smallest one in Anaheim in the States. Okay, this is the smallest one. Okay, so this is actually the Fantasyland is where the castle is. This is the castle. As you can see, there are different rides all over, but you have Tomorrowland on one side, which has about 3 or 4 rides. Then you have something else here. Fantasyland is this color. Then you have Mickey's Toontown in yellow color. Galaxy Star Wars Edge. As you can see, there's a lot going on here. So many rides here. Then you have the Critter County, New Orleans Square. All these are different rides. Adventureland. This is another big Frontierland. So these are all rides, as you can see. This is another one here, right? These are all different themed ones. So this is Star Wars themed, this is Mickey themed, and so on and so forth, right? Every day they will have a parade, 3 times a day or maybe 4 times a day, where all the characters start here. For 1 hour, they parade around here. So a lot of people gather taking photos, and everyone comes for the parade. Parade time, they stop all the rides and come for the parade because it's a grand parade. And if you have not seen the parade, there's a lot of works at the end of the parade from the Fantasyland, from the castle, and it's just a magical, magical experience, right? A lot of fireworks. So this is the smallest one. In the big one in Orlando, there's a separate area where there is, in a water area, I remember, there's a separate area where there's a huge show, massive show that they do in the evening. And there's a lot of interesting things that they do in the water, and you end up getting wet. They spray you, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, that is in addition to the. So every single day, can you believe? There's 3 massive shows here, the parades, every single day, and at the end of every single one, they light a lot of these things from the castle, right? So you can see if you're in a hotel close by, 3 times a day, you can, when you know that they're lighting this thing, right? Then they're having the parade. And imagine if you have 6 of these in that town, right? And different times, every single castle keeps lighting a lot of crackers far away, and you can see it far away from your hotel or whatever. So it's just a fantasy land, guys. It's so magical. It's so magical. You transform. So it's like you're going to another place, right? So it's huge. And here are some of the attractions. You can go through them. So each and place, Fantasyland has the most amount of attractions. So they are usually done by height, age, height, and so on and so forth. There have been some instances of issues with some of these rides in the past. If you watch YouTube, you can see them as well. Now, here's an interesting problem. We have been talking about good things so far. Here's an interesting problem. Can you see how the share price has been gradually growing? And then towards COVID, their CEO changed here. Okay, this is where their CEO changed. The CEO changed in 2019. And then, of course, COVID hit. So when COVID hit, the theme parks revenue completely went away, right? And can you see this further tumble like this, their share price? And their CEO left here. and the new CEO came here. Now they have again bought this CEO back in 2024. They bought this CEO back again. And hopefully that guy's job is to make this share price grow. Right, so that's a big problem. Another reason, one of which is they had a leadership change, and no one was able to take on. They had to bring back the old CEO. No succession. So there's a leadership crisis within the organization. Even the new CEO is temporary. Their share price dropped probably because of COVID. All businesses suffered, but also the CEO changed. There's also another thing that happened. They launched into the streaming business in 2019, and their streaming business, can you see the losses they are making? So the profits they are making, this is the losses, okay? They are minus territories or losses. So there are 2 billion losses on the streaming business. So can you see from 2020 onwards, first quarter onwards, streaming business losses, huge losses, right? This is Disney Plus. This is Disney Plus. Disney Plus is like Amazon Prime, like Apple TV, like Netflix, right? Disney Plus, where there's movies, subscriptions, and all that. So they're really suffering there. All the profits they are making in other areas are eroded by their streaming business losses, which is also probably why their share price has tumbled. Okay. So again, I spoke to you about innovation. Disney experiences, studio technology. There's such a lot. We watched the video in the start. That is important. They have a lot of other kinds of technology in terms of platforms, enterprise technology. You can read through all this. Bigger the company, your cybersecurity protection, your risks needs to be taken care of. Then there's another thing called the Disney Accelerator Program, where Walt Disney announces for the 10th year in a row that they pick 10 companies, okay, startups, and they get them in the animation business, in whatever areas within their business, and they help them. They help these 10 companies every year. It's called the Disney Accelerator Program. So hopefully if these small companies do well, then they either buy shares in them or they acquire them, right? So this is another interesting program they do. And according to Walt Disney, you can design and create and build the most wonderful place in the world, but it takes people to make a dream a reality. Without people, so therefore culture, organization culture is going to be very critical. As you can see, a Disney employee here has to stay the whole day, right? Wearing these costumes, selling stuff. A cast member joyfully demonstrates the magic of Disney and Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. And you have to be happy. You can't, even if you're having a bad day, you have to be happy, because this is a happy place. It's the happiest place on earth. It's the happiest place on earth. So their people are very, very important. They call them the cast life, the cast. At Disney, our cast are the key to the magic. And just as they care for our guests, we care for our cast members. Our cast members are the magic makers. They bring our stories to life. So your people need to be taken care of. There are so many programs, wellness programs, training and advancement programs, compensation and benefits, Disney Aspire. All these are things they do for their cast members, right? I want to maybe run one more video with you now. This is an interesting one. Let's watch this. I hope you can see it.
It's the hardest thing if somebody sat you down in a room and tell you that your child only have 2 weeks to live. It was the toughest, even to this day.
I had stage 4 cancer and I was 7 years old. The Make-A-Wish Foundation granted my family and I a trip to Walt Disney World. I remember riding rides like Dumbo, and I even had ice cream for breakfast. My brother pushed me in my wheelchair straight to Space Mountain, and we got on the ride, and that was such a fun time for the both of us.
She was in this beautiful, magical place that you could wish for anything. Yeah, she thought that nothing could happen to her, that she was fine. And believe it or not, all of her wishes have come true.
It's been 25 years cancer-free. It's unbelievable. My Make-A-Wish trip was more than I could have imagined or dreamed, and it made such an impact on me and my family that I wanted to become a cast member so I could give back the magic that I had received on my trip. I became involved with Make-A-Wish as a volunteer.
Working for Disney and helping grant a wish, she just felt that it's her calling.
What's your name? I interview children to see what one wish they could have in the world, what would it be? And more often than not, it's a Disney trip. I always let them know that you truly will be able to be a kid and enjoy your family and be at the most magical place on earth.
Okay, so what do we do from here, guys? What do we do from here? Right now, so now I want you to do a few things. Now I want you to do a few things. We know on Friday, we are going to get the questions. Many of you have started on the SWOT analysis. Like I said, please don't share your SWOT analysis with anyone or any of the analysis that you're doing. Please don't share it with anyone. Okay. So I want you to now start doing a few strategic audit tools. You can do the SWOT analysis. It's very simple. I want you to watch all the videos twice so that you're very good in theory. Watch all videos 2 times, right? So that you are very good in theory. Because after we start the questions starting on Friday, you can't be weak in theory. There might be a few areas that you don't understand. That is okay. But you can't be clueless about what I'm talking about. Okay. If you all don't do that, then I know you're outsourcing your work. You're not doing your work. You're lazy. You're a lazy bum. Okay. So you can't do that. You have to make sure you understand. It's very easy to pass this if you understand theory and do what I ask you to do. After you finish your SWOT, generate some key issues. I have told you how to do that with the SWOT analysis in the first class. 5 to 7 key issues. What are the key issues, right? Then you can do a pest analysis. You can do a pest analysis. I have given you a pest analysis in every single A grade. You'll find a pest analysis. Then another theory you can do, a simple theory you can do is stakeholder analysis. So before the next class, I want you to get ready with these. Before the next class, I want you to get ready with this. Next class, we will have towards the weekend because we cannot have the class now during the week on Wednesday because you still have not got your questions, right? So let's try and do it during the weekend and then let's look at a task and do an answer plan for a task. And hopefully by next week, we can start writing answers. All right. Any questions, guys? Anything to clarify? Can you please type? If you have anything to clarify, can you please type? Anything to clarify? Can you please type? I hope you're doing your work. Otherwise, it's a very interesting case study. Don't miss this opportunity. We are going to make sure we pass this time. Okay. So Ruzen has sent me a question privately. Yeah. Can you WhatsApp that question to me, Ruzen? We'll have a separate private chat on that. So no other questions. No other questions. Okay. So thank you very much. Good night. We'll catch up after your assignment comes. Thank you. Good night.